Hey guys, it's Greg from BitGoblin again, and today I'd like to talk about a piece of software that I've grown fond of over the years called Clementine. It's an audio player based on the old Amarok version 1.4 before some design shifts pissed off a lot of users in version 2. It's not the most modern looking audio player, and most of us these days use music streaming platforms like Spotify and SoundCloud to take care of our music listening needs. But sometimes the old way of doing things is kind of nice, and Clementine in particular has a few tricks up its sleeve that we're going to take a look at shortly. So if you could just politely strap in and strap on, then we can get to the rest of the video.
You smell that? It smells like a bit goblin.
Before we get started, please keep in mind that this is not an exhaustive list of Clementine's features, these are just my top 5. If your favorite wasn't mentioned in the video, then feel free to head down to the comment section below and let me know which feature of Clementine is your favorite. First off, Clementine can transcode audio files to several different formats, which is a nice feature to have even if it's not a common task that needs to be done every single day. Not every single file format is supported, and the full list is noted on their website, so I'm not going to explain it here, but it does support the most popular formats like MP3, OGG, and FLAC, which should handle most of your needs. This in itself is not super novel since there are plenty of other tools that can do this, but in my opinion, it's nice not needing to search around for another piece of software just to transcode audio files, and I like being able to do that right in the app that contains my music library. Reason 2 is that you can stream music through it. Just like the last reason, no, this in itself is not super special as we have tons of streaming services like Apple Music and Spotify available to us. But the cool thing about Clementine is that it allows you to stream from multiple sources. Spotify, SoundCloud, Icecast, and plenty of other options depending on your needs. These services aren't hard to get to or anything, but it is nice having all of your music in one place and accessible through the same interface. It's all neatly in one place for you to browse through, and you don't have to go dinking around for what service was that band halftone on again. You can also combine this with the fact you can still have a local library and even stream music from Dropbox or Google Drive, which really makes this powerful. You're not limited to just whatever is on Spotify and other streaming services, and you don't lose access to your local library when mommy and daddy can't stop bickering and come to an agreement. Bonus, it also has support for self-hosted services like Subsonic and Funkwhale. Yes, that's the name of a piece of software, Funkwhale. Cool. Anyways, if you prefer to use open source solutions and self-host your own services like myself, this is a nice way to take care of your music library and get off of those, hosted services. Number 3 on my list is the Clementine Remote app, which lets you control your Clementine player from your phone. Let's say you have an HTPC that you would like to be able to play music and also be controlled remotely. Easy. Just install Clementine and import your music library like normal, then go to Settings and the Network Remote tab, enable it, hit Apply, and then on your Android device, open up the Clementine Remote app, input the IP address of your machine, and boom, you can now remotely manage your PC's music player. Unfortunately, this app is only available for Android users, so us iPhone geeks will have to sit out on this one or get like a cheap Android tablet to use this feature. Though, if you'd like a Clementine Remote app for iOS and you have some experience developing iPhone apps, then you should consider hitting up the Clementine folks to get that ball rolling, or even start a project on your own and contribute that way. This would be a cool value add to Clementine users, and the open source community always loves contributions. Fourthly, you can listen to your podcasts through Clementine. Who doesn't love podcasts, right? Under the Internet tab is a section for podcasts, which you can add by right-clicking on the podcast section, go to Add Podcast, and then the window that pops up, enter the URL of the podcast you want to follow. Easy enough. There are also some configuration options available to you under the settings window if you'd like to change how often you want Clementine to check for new episodes or when to delete old episodes, for example. This also supports integration with the gpotter.net service, who deserve a quick shout out since they're open source and provide an easy way to sync your podcast subscriptions across multiple devices. Getting started with gpotter will be a topic for another video, but thankfully in Clementine, it's as easy as copying in your credentials, giving your device a unique name, and then clicking sign in. After a moment, your podcast will start syncing with the service. Finally, Clementine has integrations with Wikipedia and several other services to get artist and song information for your songs as they play. While you're listening to a song, in the left navigation pane, there's a tab for song info and another tab for artist info. The song info tab displays things like total number of listens from other registered Last.fm users, background info on the album, and song lyrics. The artist info tab simply grabs the artist info from Wikipedia for you to read. Hey, it's Future Greg here. I actually recorded this shot of Clementine for the artist info tab after I recorded everything else, like a potato, and it turns out the artist info tab actually loaded. This is the first time it worked for me in like several years, and I'm not sure if it's certain artists' names or whatever that mess it up, but I had a whole spiel about it not working for me, and I'm just chiming in now to say that it worked. Toodaloo. Admittedly, this is less of a feature that enhances your listening experience and just more of a nerdy extra thing. But to people like me that enjoys reading about artists they're listening to and reading and learning song lyrics, I love it. So those are my top 5 reasons to use Clementine to listen to music. Is it perfect? No, far from it actually. And while the app is still being developed, the last official public release is starting to show its age, having been released way back in April of 2016, about 5.5 years ago. It could definitely do with an update and some polishing, and I really would like to see it get updated to add things like better high DPI display support on Linux, and update their integrations to work a little better, as some would straight up not work for me on different platforms, or even just update to Qt5 or 6 to get off of Qt4, which is old and unsupported. Also, I know the point of Clementine was to replace the old beloved Amarok 1.4 player, but it is still rather ugly by today's design standards, and maybe it would be worth embracing a more modern look, or at least cleaning up the user experience a bit to maybe add a queue so you can browse playlists, albums, or whatever in the main pane and not interrupt your currently playing music. But that all being said, it is still a very solid music player that holds a dear place in my heart, since I've been using it way back when I started using Linux many moons ago. And it is definitely a very useful Swiss Army knife kind of app for audio, while having been incredibly stable for years. Let me know if you thought this video sucked by hitting the dislike button, but if you did like it, then go pound the like button and get subscribed so you don't miss future videos just like this one. Also, be sure to leave me your thoughts on Clementine, music players, or even other software you'd like me to take a look at in the comments section below. If you're looking for another community to join, then the Bitgoblin Discord server is waiting for you to hop on and come introduce yourself. I hope you all have a great day, and I will catch you in the next one.